He awoke from his dream, sad to realize that it was only a dream. He could hear his wife getting ready for the day, and it brought him out of the sleep he had fitfully fought for all night long. The world was calling. Bells. He grabbed his phone, and there was a forgotten bill reminder text. And then more bills and more stress. More trying to figure out how he was going to work in this world of masks. No ability to speak your mind. He sat in the bed and just wished it'd all go away. Or wished somebody would come along and help him out of this sadness that just envelops him every time he realized he wasn't at his place of peace. And he really wasn't any closer. For 45 years he'd have to work and toil in order to be able to hit retirement, and then, maybe then, he could have his land and go out there and live like God called him to live. Would he live that long? Could he ever see a retirement? Would he hurt when he got up? He didn't know. Sometimes the dream world and the real world were hard to separate. He just had a hard time putting the people that he loved first. Instead, they were a burden, a frustration. He didn't want them to be that to him. She was yelling at him. It's time to get up. Time to get the day going. Time to deal. He could just live the way he dreamed, with a little bit of electricity for a few perks. The shade was so cool. Just learn to adapt. Just learn to adjust to a little bit of the best of all that humanity has ever had to offer. But it was different. Now he knew how Noah must have felt trying to build a boat that nobody wanted to get on. Out in the world, running errands, stressed, all the noise, the busyness. Sometimes it was too much for him. Sometimes it was more than he could take. I just wondered why the people around him wouldn't just give him a moment's peace. And then he got mad at him when he just asked for some quiet. And the world was so busy around him, and he just dreamed of this place that he could disappear. This was his reality. Doctor's appointments. Go get your driver's license address changed. Go run this government errand, that government errand. Get gas. Don't forget the credit card or some cash. And then all the demands to buy, get something, buy something, do more. Not only was his family asking for more, but the society was constantly telling him to do more, be more, have more. All he wanted was less. Did he ever get to his land? Would his dream ever come true? Constantly stressed. He just wanted to drive out to the park and sit by the old log cabin by the river and imagine his land. He forgot his driver's license, and a cop was behind him. He had to turn away and go the opposite direction so as not to get pulled over. He understood why people were upset, angry with the police. Shouldn't live in fear of our government. He pulls over for a minute. Life stresses tripping him out again. Keeps seeing police, afraid of being pulled over, having bad experiences with them in the past. Doing a little First sign he sees when he pulls over, because he just shouldn't really be driving, is a no parking anytime. Don't ever dare pull over and rest yourself. Don't you dare take a moment to enjoy a view. All the signs, everything telling him stuff all the time. Past the lumber mill and thought about all the men and women who sweated, toiled and labored, making all those products, getting those trees cut. 45 years they'd have to work. If they were lucky, they'd get to retire then. Police, teachers, government officials, they get to work 20 years, never have to work again, get full retirement. Didn't seem right. He understood why they were burning cities down and wanted to defund people. He liked law and order, and he loved his nation. He's just trying to get a handle on his own emotional nightmare. They called it PTSD or something. Who knows? He'd never been diagnosed. He was scared to. If he got diagnosed, they'd try to take his rights from him. He didn't want that. Society was sick. It was making him and other men sick. He just needed to be successful so he could get his mountain, or he could find his land, he could find a place of peace and get away from it all and just worry about the simple art of being alive. His time was running out. His battery was wearing out. There was no way he could afford to replace it. This world was eating him alive. As he drove, he saw all the signs of our industrious might as well as our own destruction. How had humanity gotten so far away from what it really meant to stay alive? He watched as the world around him crumbled and God took over. Man continued to try to fix the problem. And the problem was they were continually trying to get away from God. We created a society that went from the discomfort of living out of doors to the discomfort of cancer from the food that we eat. Constantly toiling to grow crops rather than learning to eat the stuff that grows naturally year after year after year in abundance and manage that better. To live in monstrosities of houses rather than our own personal dens and burrows and caves. We taught that we were like the animal, but then we lived and demanded to control our environment so as not to be like one. And we wondered why people were going crazy, why soldiers were coming home and killing themselves. How do you handle this world that just doesn't make any sense? Right is wrong and wrong is right. Now we're erasing history because we don't like it. It hurts our feelings. Destroying truth and destroying what made life comfortable. Throughout all of history, men have just wanted some leisure time, and now we have so much that we're destroying ourselves because of it. He believed that someday we would have to return to the old ways. He was desperate to do so. He needed to make a post. He needed to bring up his audience count. He needed to bring in the money. He needed to pay the bills. He needed to control the temperature and control the light and control the heat and control how far he could travel besides his own abilities. Life is simple out here. You like driving into the rural parts to get away from it all. She wouldn't have any of it. You couldn't blame her. It looks awful in comparison. The wilderness is even scarier. There's a way to do it. There's a way to make it work and to make it simple and to make the difficulty of making a living out here not matter, because you can simplify your life. Wouldn't anybody listen? Wouldn't anybody watch or read? He was on Amazon. He was on Facebook. He was on YouTube. His message was important. He was trying to be entertaining. He was trying to be fun. He's a cyborg. He was doing everything he thought was right. It was never enough. He never felt like he was ever good enough. And it never was. There was always a new Xbox and a new iPhone and a new model car and a new house and new furniture and new. I just couldn't handle it anymore.